Okay, so this is part 6, and I think I left off at being in the end of my 6th grade year into going into 7th grade year, moving to Jackson, Tennessee, which is where my great-grandfather was from, and my grandfather and grandmother were from. And so, yeah. So I had moved there with my family when I was 10 years old and didn't want to because, my life was ending because I was a pre-teen and, well, as all adults know, and hopefully young adults know, that the world just ends when you don't get your way as a young teen and young person. So, but we had moved to Jackson, Tennessee, and we moved to 11 Green Park Cove. I knew nothing about Jackson, Tennessee, and it felt like a lifetime away from all of my friends, but reality is it's only about an hour away. So I had finished my 6th grade year and had been highly involved in the youth because I was starting to become a teenager. And then Jessica Austin and I had met through gymnastics because we were both on a team. She was tiny and petite, and I was growing. She was amazing at balance beam, and I was pretty strong in the vault. We were both good and competitive on the floor, and so in bars, I think she was pretty awesome at, but I was so tall. So, anyways, 7th grade started, and as I had said prior, going into my 7th grade year, I remember going to Camp Clark Williamson, and I remember laying on top of the pier over the lake, and I just remember having this presence, and I remember it so strongly, I can't even explain it to you. But I do remember knowing that God was talking to me, and I don't know what he was trying to say. It was a really long time ago, and I'm almost 30 years away from that. But I know he was trying to speak to me. And so we get into 7th grade, and this is a whole new thing because I'm now in junior high. And it was so awesome. And I had a big, huge group of friends, and we were all friends. And that was a year, I will say, that every single one of my friends, as big as the group was, we would have sleepovers, and we would have Bible studies at sleepovers, and we would talk about God, and we were involved in Young Life, and we were involved in youth groups and youth group gatherings, and we would invite one and the other, and then it would become bigger. And so we were all friends, every single one of us. And Jessica and I were both highly involved in the gymnastics area, and we were both really involved in water skiing and water tubing and in church. And she would come to church functions with me, and I would go to church functions with her. And then a church camp opened up, and I had never, outside of Disney World, I had never been to Florida. And there was a church camp, and it was Centrifuge, and it was Panama City, Florida. And I wanted to go. I knew nothing about it. I had never really been away from my family other than Camp Clark Williamson. And so I decided I was going to go. My parents allowed me. And so I can't remember if I did fundraisers for it or not. I know that they were available, but I just remember being able to go. And so a big group of us girls got together, and we got on the bus from Jackson, Tennessee, and headed to Panama City Beach to Centrifuge. And there were, I'm going to say, about 12 of us who went together. I think Betsy Abbott, and all these people are married now, but these are their maiden names. Betsy Abbott went, Abigail Boren went, I went, Jessica Austin went, and those are the few people I can remember. I know 1,000% that more girls went. And so we got there. Brian was our youth leader along with Jeff Keys, and I think Jeff Keys was our leader. But I remember Brian. He was a young college student. And so the theme song was Stephen Curtis Chapman, Great Adventure. And I remember it because as soon as I got home from that church camp, I went and bought the CD. I loved it. And so, yeah. And going there, I fell asleep because it's a long road down. And so I fell asleep. And that's when caboodles were the really big, cool thing. And so when I got there, I remember washing my hair because that's kind of what you do to keep clean. And as much as I would wash my hair, it would just be greasy every time. And I found out later that they had kind of hijacked my caboodle and put conditioner in my brush and kind of lotion in my brush. And so they had kind of just picked on me. It was just fun, friend fun. Abigail Bourne had done that. And so, we were just friends and girls and just silliness. So about 2 days before we left, or maybe the day before we left, I remember my counselor for my group, my service group, I remember her telling the class that how close we felt to God. And it was on a scale of 0 to 100. And we were kind of divided